I went to the hardware store. I just got some plastic anchors, and I'm going to anchor this box in case it doesn't hit a stud, which I don't think it will. Okay, so you can buy a little pack like this. It comes with the anchors and screws, and you know, I'm just going to use something like that. These are number 10 to number 12 by 1.25 inches. Plus, when I get all done, if I want to clamp anything down, I can use some clamps like this for my conduit. I got my conduit up against the wall. I can clamp it down like that, and if that doesn't hit a stud, I can put a plastic anchor in and a screw for that. Okay, and I saved those clamps from last time I did some work over here, and I removed the surface mounted fluorescent light fixtures in the kitchen. Did you see me do that? Well, it's on my channel. We had to do that before we installed these can lights, and they were up above a T-bar ceiling. This looks all nice now. Remember how dark it used to be in here? And the ceiling had to be patched, and we reprimed and painted it. It looks nice, bright, cheery, rather than that awful looking T-bar suspended ceiling. 30 years ago, that was considered an upgrade to a kitchen. Not anymore. Now here's my old box. Remember, went up here, out the side, out the bottom. Here's my new box. See how much deeper it is? It doesn't seem like very much, you know. That little bit is actually quite a lot. So I can get some wires down in there and get it situated a little bit easier before I put my duplex receptacle back in there. And am I going to put the same one in there? I don't know. I think I got a new one for it, and I'll explain that later. So my next step is I've got to hold that box up to there, figure out exactly where I want it, and then figure out which knockouts I'm going to take out. Okay, and for the time being, I know I've got to take one out at the bottom, so I can just take my pliers, hit that like that, come in there like that. There, one knockout ready. Okay, so that'll be my bottom, and then more than likely I'm going to do one at the very top, and then I'll have to decide on the sides where to put my little angle goodie. You know, do I want the top, the middle, or the bottom? We'll figure it out. I might even go to the middle, so I'm a little bit away from the cables on the ends. You know, whatever you want to do. We're ready. Here's the top one, like that, the side one, and one at the bottom, going up there. See, you take that nut off, like that. This has a rubber washer in there because it's like for airtight, waterproof, and because it's in the kitchen, we can do it that way. Okay, so now you can finger tighten that, and then tighten it down with a screwdriver and tap on it and stuff. I don't want to do that just yet. You know, I want to get this mounted, figure it out, and I may do some of that up there, because see, I want to attach this to my conduits first before I start messing with that, because remember, I have to twist this on. Okay, think about your project before you start. And you know, if you mess up, you'll learn real quick. You can always unscrew the box and, oh, oops, I shouldn't have put this on first. I should have put it on the conduit first, like Joe told me. You know, no biggie. Now I've got the bottom and the top knocked out. Does it matter what side to do? Because I only want to come out one. Because you can flip the box over. Well, yes it would, because look, if you knock this one out, let's say, there's your set screw for your ground. You wouldn't want to do that. You'd want to use this one down here, or in our case, we're going to flip it like that. I want to put the ground screw there. and the side is going to go right like that. Okay, think about your project. You got that new box mounted, and I actually lucked out. I installed it right where they had it before. And remember, this top one seemed a little short. Well, that's because I went into the side of the box, or the existing was the side of the box. This time I'm going to go out of the top, and I was able to pull on this a little bit, and I gained just a little bit of room. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this conduit, and I'm going to sneak it up over that. And, you know, because I'm working on this electrical outlet location, it then becomes my responsibility to make sure it's all up to code. And because I've got enough conduit and I was planning on it, and I got the right fittings for it and everything, you know, I'm going to do it right. Now, incidentally, they have these little things called KO seals, knockouts. So if you make a mistake, or if you pull something out and you relocate something using another hole, you can still use a box. You just take one of these and it taps right in. Just like that. Now see, I end up having two holes on the side because the wire that was coming in through the top, it was still a hair short. And so I decided to go here, and that'll give me a little bit more room to make the box up. So I'm glad I had these. These are called KO seals, knockout, meaning K-N-O-C, K-N-O, knock, K-N-O-C-K, out, O-U-T, K-O. That's why they call them KO seals. Okay, so they have those at the store. Okay, so now I did that because you don't want to leave a hole. If you don't use one of these holes, you don't want to leave it open. That's against code. Okay, so on the side here, I've got one coming down like that, and then I'm going to have one coming straight out and one down at the bottom. There you go. Now, did I do that for your benefit, or did Joe just mess up? I'll let you be the judge of that. Now this might be a good time to put your ground screw in. And you know what? There's two different size ground screws. The ones I saved from before are too small. Luckily I found a bigger screw in the garage that I can use for the ground screw. Okay, when I put that in the back of the box, it's going to hit the sheetrock. Right? So I'll screw this in first, then I'll take my scratch awl, poke that, and then I'll put the screw in after that, and it will kind of drive into the sheetrock, but there's threads on there, okay? So take note of that. If you ever need ground screws and you're at the hardware store, make sure you get the right ones, because there's two different sizes. Now here's that old wire, and the sheathing, the outside sheathing was way up here before, so I stripped the outside sheathing off and pulled off all the paper and stuff, so this is more easily used. Plus I would have had to have done that in the box anyways. Now when I slip the conduit over, it doesn't matter where this stops inside the conduit. Fact is, the conduit's going to go from about here on up, and then I'll cut the conduit and let it poke in through there, maybe an inch or inch and a half, 2 inches or so. Okay, then screw the fitting on, slip it up over this, and then put it in the hole. Went ahead and cut this off, measured it, cut it off, and I just take the end piece and just screw it on till it's snug as a bug in a rug. Now I can slip this over that wire, let it shove in beyond the cabinet, and then fish this into the box and tighten her home. I got a little mess going on. I got the existing wire. I put that cable, the conduit over that and ran that up there. Put that in. The one going up that way, I got that in. Now I got my other long one. I'm just gonna kind of hold it up there and cut it a little short, well, a little long, but I don't want it this long, because remember, that's the one I've got to try to fish that wire, that new cable, the Romex cable through there. Okay, man, it almost looks like I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
Imagine that. I've got my Romex cable I've got to shove through this pipe. See, that's why I cut it shorter, so I didn't have to push as much through there. And that's going to zip up like that, and it's going to fit up in there like that. And on the other end, right here, the cable's going to come out of that. Where am I? Right here. And then I'm going to cut a hole back there, and then I'm going to shove that into the hole with the Romex going through too. And I think I can squeeze it by in there. And then I got to put my cut-in box in here, reach through the hole of the cut-in box, feel for the Romex, and pull it home.
Yeah.
Wow. Hope I can do it all. You think I can do it?
Yes.
Okay.
I saw the box.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting tired with all this stuff, but you know what? One step at a time. If you can learn how to do this, then you can do it too. Oh, yes, you can.